Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so a break from all this reality for me. And if you've been watching all of my channel, you probably forget I'm even a basketball analyst. I got so much going on with the therapy sessions and all that. But there is a basketball topic that I can talk about because Fred VanVleet has declined his $22 million option. And as a result, he's going to be a free agent. So this is going to be interesting because it's going to be a question of what the field believes he is worth. What is he going to be paid? Now, from what I understand, there are a couple of teams that need a point guard. I guess is the best way to describe it, because what I see in my head is basically something I read earlier that said the destinations that make the most sense. That doesn't mean he's rumored to go there. That doesn't mean they want him. It just means that they could use a point guard. The names that came to mind was the New York Knicks, or that was listed: New York Knicks, the Orlando Magic, the LA Lakers. It was two more. Suns, and I don't remember who that other team was. It might have been the Dallas Mavericks if for some reason Kyrie leaves, but I don't think that was the team that was listed. Don't remember. But that's the point. He has suitors, and it's just going to be about whether or not they think he's a $22 million player. Now, me personally, I like Fred VanVleet more so than most people do right now, and I think it's because I remember him playing well 2 years ago when he was doing well, and didn't watch much of the Toronto Raptors over the last year and a half, 2 years. Not very much. So if he's been struggling ever since and it's turned into something that I don't remember him being, then that's just something that needs to be understood and studied. But the Fred VanVleet that I remember from 2 years ago was a player that could really let it fly, helped with the assist category, and then on the other side was understood to be a very good small defender, So whatever it was that he was as a player back then, I don't remember him having any knee injuries or anything like that. Maybe it was just a matter of him getting out of Nick Nurse's system. Maybe it was a matter of him moving on from that particular situation. And so I find myself just kind of looking at Fred VanVleet and seeing him as somebody that maybe you can get for a lower price right now because of his struggles, just like D'Angelo Russell, and then probably have him play up the value that he provides you once you get him into a system that fits him a bit better. Surround him with players that fit him as well as necessary. So I heard a lot about Nick Nurse's offense and how it may have contributed to some of the stagnation that was going on with the Toronto Raptors this past year. Again, I don't watch them. I'm just going off what I've read. So maybe he gets into a different system that has nothing to do with Nick Nurse. Probably, maybe good things can happen, but he's already won a championship with Nick Nurse. So why would I think that he couldn't play well if for some reason he found himself where Nick Nurse is? Where did Nick Nurse get hired? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I know he got hired, but I don't remember where that was at the moment. But obviously you would think that it's a possibility that he reunite with his coach since they won a championship together. Maybe it's a chance that he goes to where Nick is, but I don't have that place in my head right now. He got hired somewhere. Where did Nick Nurse get hired? I want to say, I forgot. I literally forgot. But nevertheless, I do believe that when it really comes down to it, suitors will be there for Fred VanVleet more so than what it is we've listed, because I think there's a chance that you could see more point guards possibly pop up in trades, or maybe an opportunity for a team that gets a really high draft pick, maybe wherever Miller lands, depending on their point guard position. Obviously, Miller is expected to go to either 2 or 3, but you can see situations opening up with unprecedented circumstances. Portland might be getting Scoot Henderson. New Orleans might be getting Scoot Henderson, and obviously already have LaMelo Ball. So I wouldn't think he would go to any of those places, but you just think that the outlook of certain teams is going to change a little bit once they know what the draft looks like for themselves. Some of these teams, I can tell you the truth, like a team like Utah, they're about to get a lot better really fast if they draft properly, because they already have a team that can score 150 points without any of that. So if they upgrade their point guard position, they upgrade their small forward, power forward position, you can see them being a contender. So a guy like Fred VanVleet, if for some reason they don't draft a point guard, maybe he goes there. You see what I'm saying? There's certain things that can open up, and you just never know what teams are going to consider. Even though they have a need, maybe they see a free agent and say, you know what, I'm not going to draft that way. Let me just go for the best fit, and then that can shake some things up as well with the position. So that's what I want to say. I think that Fred VanVleet is going to continue a good career. He's, like I said, he's already won a championship, and so it's one of those situations where you got to take that into account when you price him. And I just don't think he's going to have a bad year if you can get him into a good situation. I don't see that. So that's what I really wanted to say. I'm sitting here eating and my food is getting cold, so I don't want to make this longer than it has to be. I'm mad at myself for not remembering where Nick Nurse was hired right away. It's still not come to me, believe it or not. But I know Nick was hired, and for some reason the Rockets keeps coming up, even though I know that that's where Ime Udoka went. So it's like, come on, where is he? He's somewhere in this league. Did he go to the Pacers or something? I don't remember, man. It wasn't Detroit, but nevertheless, we will figure that out. And then from there, if they don't have a point guard, maybe throw that team's name in the mix as a team that could possibly get him. I'm thinking Dallas because I don't know that Kyrie Irving is actually returning there, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm not sure that they don't want that dynamic in place. And so that's something I'm also thinking about. Luka Doncic, I don't think he's necessarily in need of a point guard. That might not be the best use of your cash if you don't re-sign Kyrie Irving. But, you know, that's something that you have to think about. If they do, in fact, lose Kyrie Irving for some reason, which it looks like he could be headed to one of these LA teams since he's, like, really pushing around for LA. You know, you'd have to think that Dallas may want to replace him with Fred VanVleet to keep the good times rolling for that vision that they have for their team. So, yeah, that's something that I see there. The Clippers. I don't know if Westbrook is going to be returning. So you can possibly see Fred VanVleet maybe slipping in there. But I don't know if they have the cap space to really afford anything like that. So you gotta consider them. Where the hell did Nick Nurse get hired? Seriously, that's one of the reasons why I have not hung up this phone yet. Because I really want to get that right. He was hired somewhere. Was it New York? Nah, Tibbs is still there. It's somewhere back east, though. I know that. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.